Hello everybody, welcome back to Discussion the Show. We are here for season 2 of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, y'all. If you don't know, I reviewed all episodes of season 1, so definitely go check it out. I will link it throughout the cards in this video, and I will link it in the end screen at the end, but definitely go check out my reviews of season 1. But we're here for season 2. Yesterday, Peacock dropped the first 3 episodes, and I am here to talk about each episode and review it. And I'm excited because this season, so far, the first 3 episodes, I enjoy it better than season 1. Season 1 was good, but season 3, it's so good. Like the casting, they did a great job with the casting. I'm gonna talk about all 3 episodes. I'm gonna talk about the cast. We're gonna get into all the juiciness that went on in episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
To be or not to be, not.
This one is called the Ex-Wives Club because all of the women that are on the show are no longer housewives on their respective franchise. So let's get into the casting. We have, from Real Housewives of Atlanta, we have Eva Marcille and we have Miss Phaedra Parks. And so far, Eva's very chill. The girls were kind of mad when they heard Eva was on, and I was like, I don't know why. Eva's cool. She had her moments on Atlanta where I was like, I didn't really care for her, but I do like Eva overall. And so far on the show, she's very chill. She's just been smoking her weed, and just very relaxed, you know? She's about to get in a fight with Brandi, and she calmed down herself, but Brandi better not try her. And she almost got in a fight with Vicki too, and she told Vicki, don't try me, I'm not the one, and Vicki shut up. So she had 2 close encounters with getting into a fight, but it was calmed down. And then we have Phaedra. Phaedra, of course, is a key. I've missed her on my screen. Like, she is so good. I've missed her so much. I knew how much I miss her, and seeing her on the screen, I was like, oh my god, I've missed this woman so much. She is so funny. She hasn't missed a beat. Like her little, of course, you know her little sayings. Oh Lord, Jesus bless her. Like, I miss her. I remember Vicki said she has to go take her 33 pills. She's like, 33 pills? Like, all 3 episodes, she had me screaming. Her and Brandi in bed together. Like, a key. I've missed Phaedra so much. So that's the Atlanta girls. Then we have the New York girls. We have Dorinda, and we have Jill Zarin. And of course, they are staying at the Berkshires at Dorinda's Stone Manor, you know, the iconic Stone Manor from Real Housewives of New York. And because who said it? Oh yeah, it was Jill. Jill was like, how come season 1 they got to go to the Turks and Caicos and we are just stuck at Dorinda's house? No shade to Dorinda. That made me laugh because I was like, no, a fact. Even though Stone Manor, like, it's iconic. I do love the idea. I do love the concept of them being at Stone Manor and like seeing them go to like the fish room. Phaedra got the fish room, which I was like, I knew Phaedra was gonna love it because she loves like eclectic shit. So I was like, yeah. But back to Dorinda. They're at Stone Manor. Dorinda, of course, she's making it nice, making everything great. We get a little bit of drunk Dorinda going on. You already know. I partially miss drunk Dorinda and I partially don't. Half of me miss her because she's funny as hell, and then the other half, when she just keeps going and going and going, it just gets annoying. But I have missed seeing the drunkenness. The half of me has missed seeing that. And then we have Miss Jill Zarin, which I was like, when Jill walked in, she redid her Scary Island introduction when she walked into the trip. It was like, hey everybody, and everybody was, it's just funny because even with this one, everybody was looking at her like the same as with Scary Island on season 3 of Real Housewives of New York. So it was hilarious all over again. And then she and her boyfriend came up, and I just can't get jiggy with seeing her with a new boyfriend. I know, because I just think about Bobby. Like, I'm just like, damn, Bobby. Rest in peace. But I can't see her with a new man. But I love to see that she is happy and in a great relationship. So I'm happy for her. Jill and Phaedra had me weak because it was one dinner that they were at and they were in the corner just keying. So Jill, she came late because they wanted to surprise the girls. So I'm still trying to like get into what she's about to give to the season, but so far she's been funny, she's been witty. Of course, you know Jill, she's a sellaholic. They call her QVC because she's gonna be like, yeah, have this and this and talk about whatever item and whatever it is. Oh yeah, that's the Jill Zarin rug, I'll send it to you guys later. Like it's great to see her as well back on the screen. And then we have from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we have Taylor Armstrong, and we have, of course, Miss Brandi Glanville. And you already know Brandi is already disrupting the place. I knew that as soon as I saw Brandi was going to be on the cast, I knew what was coming, because Miss Brandi, one thing about it, she does not give a damn what comes out of her mouth. She does not think before she speaks, and she just says it. So I knew it was about to be some shit when I saw her on the cast. But again, like Dorinda, half of me loves it and it's hilarious to me, and then the other half I'm cringing. Like I'm like, ugh, Brandi, no. Like Phaedra was telling her, be a good citizen. Watch your mouth. It's hilarious to see Phaedra and Eva like talk her down and telling her to watch her mouth, because she got into it with Taylor and Tamra and Vicki, and oh my god, a mess, honey, a mess. And then we have, of course, Miss Taylor Armstrong, again another person that I'm excited. All of the women, I'm pretty much excited to see them on my screen, because I could definitely say they brought something to their franchise. So I am happy to see all of them. But Taylor, I was like, yes, Taylor, she looks healthy. I'm like happy to see her. I was like, look at my girl. Especially like the cat meme part, when Brandi was talking about like the cat meme when Taylor yelled at her. That was hilarious, because I thought about the cat meme too. The fact that Brandi brought that up was funny. And then last but not least, we have Real Housewives of Orange County. We have Tamra Judge, and of course we have Miss Vicki Gunvalson, the OG of the OC. And Vicki, she has been a buzzkill for sure. She's not whooping it up. She's been a buzzkill, you know. She's been congested, as Phaedra was saying, and she's been like sad over her relationship that she just broke up with Steve. And yeah, I wanted the Vicki that wants to turn up. It's giving snooze Vicki. I'm gonna see what the rest of the season is giving, but so far I'm like, come on, Vicki. And then it was a part with her and Eva, because Eva was fangirling. She's like, oh my god, the OG of the OC. You know, Eva, you could tell Eva watched Real Housewives of Orange County, and she was really a fan of Vicki. And then Vicki's like, oh, I don't even know who Eva is. And I'm like, oh my god. Come on, Vicki, come on. But that was hilarious. And then, of course, we have, last but not least, Tamra. And Tamra is my girl. If you don't know, when I used to watch Orange County, I haven't watched Orange County since like season 11. I feel like season 11 was the last one I watched. But Tamra is my girl. Like, we went through the ladies. Let's go through these episodes. So episode 1, of course, is the beginning. Is the intro. We see everybody preparing to leave for the trip. We see Phaedra and her sons. We see Taylor and Kennedy. I was like, Kennedy is 15. What? Where has the time gone? We see her new husband, and then we see Brandi and her son. And her son is hilarious because he's like laughing at everything. He's like, don't throw a drink. He know his mother because she is a mess, honey. And then so they all leave for the trip, and they basically pretty much all flew into Connecticut and then drove to Massachusetts, where the Berkshires is. So it's funny to see that they didn't know where the Berkshires were. They're like, where's the Berkshires? Where's that? But they all like drove in. Dorinda's, of course, preparing everything, making everything good. We see Len. I was like, look at Len. I don't know why I'm excited to see Len more than Dorinda, but like, I don't know who I'm excited to see more. But I was like, look at Len. They're preparing, they're prepping. The girls drive in. I believe, yeah, it was Taylor, Tamra, and Vicki. They arrive first. Dorinda's giving them their room. She gives them rules like, you know, don't wear your shoes upstairs, no eating upstairs. They messed up those rules already. By episode 2, they already had all those rules gone out the window. And then after that, Brandi arrives, and it was hilarious because Tamra and Brandi have a little beef because they had a little Twitter argument. And then Taylor and Brandi have beef because they haven't made up since season 2 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then Vicki, she doesn't really have beef with Brandi, but she's kind of nervous of like Brandi's mouth and what she's gonna say. So when Brandi walked in, it was like a little awkward, but they were friendly-ish to her. And then of course Brandi, she's hilarious because she mentioned her getting like a pull-out couch in her room, and I was like, hilarious. Pretty much all the girls had their own room except except Vicki and Tamra. They shared one room, but everybody else had their own room. And then last but not least, Eva and Phaedra arrived. And like I said, Jill came the next day because basically Bravo created this whole plan to like surprise the ladies, and I think they just really wanted to recreate her Scary Island entrance, so they made her come a day later when everybody was getting manis, petties, massages, all of that. And they all went later on, they went to lunch in the backyard, and then Vicki starts talking about her and Steve breaking up, and then Brandi's like, oh, he's a dick. And then Vicki's like, you don't know him. I'm like, Vicki, everything that you have said about this man definitely sounds, like I said, I haven't watched Orange County since season 10 or 11, so I don't know who Steve is. I haven't seen him, but from what she was saying, like she bought her own wedding ring and her own engagement ring, and then he was staying in her house that she bought in Mexico more than her and all that. It sounds very fishy. It sounds very creepy. And yeah, Brandi called it, hit it right on the head, but she was mad that Brandi said that. You don't know him. I was like, even though Brandi could be, she's, like I said, she's honest, she doesn't care, like, she was right. And then, of course, like I said, Phaedra's in the fish room, which I was like, that's the perfect person to put in the fish room because she likes eclectic things. And then Dorinda's talking to them about Richard and her feeling, like, close to him in the tree. And then Phaedra's like, who's Richard? I'm like, do y'all not watch each other's franchises? Obviously not, because you would know these things. I think because I'm a housewife girl, like I have watched every single franchise at one point, so I pretty much know what's going on, and anytime they bring up something, I pretty much know what it is. But so it's funny to see that they didn't know certain things. Like I think one of them, when they were driving in, they were like, oh, does she live here all year round? And if they knew, they would know, like, that's the Berkshires, and then she has her place in New York City. So I'm like, they really don't be watching each other's franchises that intently. Later on in the night, we see Brandi and Eva clicking, and then we also see Eva and Taylor really, really getting close. But we see more of that in episode 2. And at the end of the night, they have dinner. They're having a clam bake, and Dorinda's over here popping these crab legs and breaking them up, and everybody's excited. They're like, oh, Dorinda, okay. Brandi's like, well, that's kind of turning me on. And I feel like Dorinda has a girl crush on Phaedra, like low-key, high-key. She went over to Phaedra so Phaedra could like eat the lobster from her hand. And of course Phaedra, she making it all sexy and all that. And Dorinda mentioned like, oh, I wanted her to eat it from her, you know, her thick luscious lips. And I'm like, Dorinda, yes. And even in episode 2, I feel like she said something about Phaedra again. I'm like, she definitely has a little girl crush on Miss Feifei. And I'm like, yes, come on. But yeah, let's get into episode 2. That was episode 1. It was basically just like the intro, them coming into the house, moving in, and all of that. So then we get into episode 2, and one part that had me screaming was when Phaedra said that Vicki would be, I wrote it down, Vicki would be a good Southern Baptist woman. Because the way she be condemning people and what's going on and what they're doing, and that made me scream, because Phaedra is hilarious. Like, she's really funny, and I really missed her on my screen. Like, I'm excited to see her next week on Real Housewives of Dubai. Like, my girl is making her Bravo comeback, and I stan, okay? I love Phaedra. I don't care. So this is the episode when they have the spa day. Everybody's getting mani-pedis, massages. Everybody's outside. And then this is, like I said, when Jill arrives. And then when Jill turns the corner, Phaedra's like, oh, I know this woman. That's why I said she's hilarious. She's like, I know this woman. I know her from somewhere. I've seen this woman somewhere. And I'm like, no, Phaedra, please stop. And I heard somebody was like, oh, that's Jill Zarin. And then this is why I said Eva and Taylor are definitely getting close. They had like a little moment where they're sitting outside and talking about like their abusive relationships. Of course, Taylor and her ex-husband. And then we know Eva and her ex. So they like have that common ground, and then they started crying. It was very much a bonding sisterhood moment, and you could see like they really do genuinely like each other, and they're growing this friendship, because even later on in the episode, Taylor and her like twerking and then Taylor's like, oh my beautiful sunshine, Eva, blah blah blah. So Taylor definitely likes Eva definitely likes Taylor, and I'm happy to see where this budding friendship is going. But it's super cute to see. Like, I really like to see it. And then of course we see Brandi, Phaedra, and Eva getting close as well, because basically in that case they are technically, Eva and Phaedra are technically being Brandi's savior, because they trying to make sure she don't say shut up bitch out of her mouth, or call people bitches, or tell people to shut the F up, and they're trying to make this girl calm down and not go off on everybody, because her and Vicki almost got into it. She yelled at Taylor at the dinner table later that night, and then Vicki chimed in. So it was a lot going on at that dinner later on. We're gonna talk about that. But basically Eva and Phaedra are just trying to make sure Brandi stays cool, calm, and collected. And then later on is when they went to another like manor in the area, and they had dinner. And but before that they did the coffee bean read, where if you don't remember, a couple seasons ago, Dorinda brought the same woman to the Real Housewives of New York. She can see things in the coffee beans when they like drink the coffee. So that's what they did. And then later on after that, they went to dinner. And this is where the chaos happened, with Taylor yelling at Brandi because Brandi told her to shut up. And she's like, literally the cat meme literally popped in my head. So the fact when Brandi said, all I could think about is a cat meme, I screamed. And then Vicki was like, you don't talk to women like that, da da da. And then Eva had walked, like she went to the bathroom, and she had came back and heard Vicki or Taylor calling Brandi a bitch. So then she didn't hear what happened before. So she now comes to stick up for Brandi, and then Vicki starts going off on Eva, and Eva's like, I'm not the one, you don't come for me. And Vicki was like, she didn't say nothing else after that. But that whole scene was just chaotic. And then I see Jill and Phaedra over here laughing and kikiing. And then Phaedra's like, for once, me and Eva are the calm ones in this situation. Have nothing to do with us. Oh man, this is what I said. So far this season is definitely looking better than season 1. And the last part of this episode I'm gonna talk about is when Brandi calls the waiters, was 2 waiters, there's a husband and a wife, or was it the chef? It was the chef. Well, basically a woman, I think she was a waiter or the chef, but she said, oh yeah, that woman is a lesbian. She basically said that since they walked in. And then at the table, her husband was there, and they were like, he was basically telling them that Brandi called his wife a lesbian. And then Phaedra was like, Brandi, why did you think that woman was a lesbian? Brandi Glanville, because of her eyebrows. I really cannot stand her, yo. This is what I said, she really makes for good TV, but she's hilarious. I can't. And Phaedra almost passed the hell out. Eva's over here laughing. Like, she is really hilarious. Oh my god. And then they were like, let me check my eyebrows, child. What my eyebrows is giving. Now we're gonna get into episode 3. So in this episode, it was basically a lasagna off. We had Brandi versus Dorinda, and they basically was gonna make their famous lasagnas and see which one was better. So that was basically that. And then they also had like a field day competition within this episode as well. So let's talk about the lasagnas first. Overall, the girls looked like they liked Dorinda's lasagna more. I would definitely say Dorinda's lasagna look better. Brandi's own look a little messy and saucy. But overall, the votes looked like it was for Dorinda. I would definitely like to try both and see which one is better as well. I would love, love, love to try it. And then in this episode, they also went to a dispensary for Eva so she gets some weed. And then Vicki was just being very like judgmental. She's like, oh, who does drugs anyways? Like, and then Tamra's like, I mean, so like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't like it. I don't like that. And then speaking of Vicki, she ends up going to the hospital. What did she have? Like sinus infection? Yeah, it was a sinus infection. One thing about it, Vicki's gonna go to a hospital on a trip. They had like a field day where they did different activities. Eva ends up winning. It was Eva, and then Phaedra was in second place. But that was fun to see. It was a cool little like adult exercise. It was basically each section was set up for like whichever housewife. Like, they had to pick the apples and find the golden apple, of course, New York. They had to throw the thing and hit the peach, of course, for Atlanta. So it basically set up for each housewife. So that was cute. And then later on that night, they ended up playing more games. Brandi's like, let's have some fun, let's play some games. And she brings out 2 large penises, like 2 plastic penises, and they were playing this game called cock toss, where they had to take rings. Like, they were holding the penises and then they were throwing the rings and seeing if they could put the ring on the penis. So yeah, they played that first, and then they ended up playing the confession game. And then with that one, Jill got the question about what's something that your father did wrong, and then Brandi was like, we're on national television. And then Dorinda got upset because she was like, this game is supposed to be fun, it's not that serious, blah blah blah. But I get where Brandi was coming from. Again, Dorinda probably drank a little too much, maybe, so she was getting a little irate. And you know, with Dorinda, she wants you to do what she wants, so once it's kind of going against what she wants, she kind of does get annoyed and upset. So she was kind of getting upset, but that calmed down. They finished playing the game, and then this is how the episode ended, with Eva answered a question. I forgot what the question was. And then Brandi is like, oh, your husband is great. He could tell he loves you. I thought he was going to be a mangina. I was like, Brandi. Like, I literally cringe. That's why I said she has her moments of funny. And then there's moments where I cringe. Like, I cringe. Because Eva's like, what does that mean? And then later on, she explained it basically like a man who acts like a pussy or acts like a punk or whatever. He's a mangina. He has a mangina. And I was like, oh my God, Brandi, girl, Eva, you don't want Eva. No, we don't need this. Eva, you're supposed to be, shut your mouth. Like, even Phaedra's like, oh, girl, you got to think before you speak. What? Eva just went outside and she was smoking. But like I always say, when people say you're a pussy, I hate that, because pussies are stronger than dicks. Let's be real. Like, you hit a dick and it's wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Like, a vagina pushes baby out, have their periods once a month, go through cramps. Like, a vagina is strong, a pussy is strong. Penises are the weak ones. So when people say you're a pussy, no honey, because a pussy is strong, bitch. Like, stop playing, okay? Stop playing. It was another part, I forgot about this, it just popped into my head, where Dorinda went off on Vicki for being an anti-vaxxer. That part I was standing with Dorinda with. I stand in her drunken mess and yelling at Vicki. I was like, yes, eat her up. Get her, girl. Get her for me. But y'all, that is episode 1, 2, 3 of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2, the Ex-Wives Club. Like I said, so far, I am loving the season. I am excited for the rest of the season. We have 7 episodes, which I'm like, damn, and we already got 3 of them, which means we only have 4 more episodes left. And I'm like, 4 more weeks is gonna go by too fast. Like, I'm not ready to see this cast go. But Bravo definitely did a good job putting these ladies together, these 8 ladies together. I feel like the mix is messy but good at the same time, and I love it. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with the rest of the season. Definitely comment down below, let me know what you think so far of episode 1, 2, and 3. Of course, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course follow me on my social medias, y'all. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, deuces.